Hi, my name's Kat, and I hate myself, apparently. End of video? Okay, so it's January, which means it's time to punish ourselves by holding ourselves to ridiculous and unmaintainable standards that will crumble faster than you can say New Year's resolution. Fun times. So for me, like January 1st rolls around and I say to myself, hey, no need for any crazy resolutions this year. You're doing okay at the gym, at work, in life in general. Just keep on trucking. January 2nd arrives, and my tune has changed to I am giving up my smartphone for 3 months. Why? So, honestly, the initial impulse was just that. It was an impulse. I read an article that said it takes 90 days to rewrite the addiction pathways in your brain. Okay, cool. I'll give up my smartphone for 3 months. So I pulled out the trusty. Where is it? I pulled out the trusty brick, swapped my SIM card over, and powered the smartphone down. So far, so good. But once the system was in place and I got through a few days, I decided, yeah, I'm committed to this. So, screen addiction is an interesting one. In this time and place, it's hard to do many things without a computer or without having like instant internet in your pocket. So, unlike alcohol addiction, you can't cut the problem substance, the problem item completely out of your life. You have to continue to incorporate it and change your addiction around it. And for me, not least because I work with screens and I also want to keep posting on this YouTube channel, I can't cut out screens. And I think that's fine for me and my particular set of addicted behaviours, which are all centred and channelled through my smartphone. I mean, in a nutshell, there's a bit more, but in a nutshell, the problems are excessive YouTube watching and excessive Reddit browsing at times when I'm supposed to be sleeping or working, or just sucking the amazing zesty juice out of the experience of being alive in this wonderful world, but instead I'm consuming the empty calories of ridiculous internet content that I don't even care about because the internet content that I actually care about I'd already gobbled and consumed within the first half hour of the day. So why give up the smartphone? Surely there are less extreme solutions. There are apps that let you block certain sites and apps. Android has built-in focus time settings and, timer restrictions for certain apps or websites. Yeah. For me, they work for a few days and then I just turn them off or I snooze them, and the turning them off or the circumventing of these controls then becomes sort of and just as much of an ingrained unconscious habit as the initial bad habit of overconsumption of the internet. Fine. All right. What about delete the apps that I'm addicted to? Yeah, I just go to the site in a browser instead. Set up a pin lock on the blocker, and then have someone else, like an accountability partner, set the code. Yeah, so my accountability partner, or as the kids call them these days, husband, he folds like a cheap suit the minute I come at him for things he knows I'm not allowed to have. Moving to the brick is the quickest and cleanest solution, and it's also a tried and tested one. The reason I had this phone just ready to go is that I've done this before. Partly to control my digital habits, and partly because my old phone broke. I don't like spending money, and phones are stupid expensive nowadays, especially when you consider the fact that they are designed to be obsolete by like the end of the week. So shout out to my current smartphone, which is the Fairphone 3, which is designed to be like longer lasting and repairable. Very nice. Okay, so let's talk about what works and what doesn't work and what the exceptions and the workarounds are. There are some that I considered up front, like for example this channel. I'm recording it on the forbidden smartphone, and that's okay. I'm allowed to bring it out to use as a camera, because while it's filming, it's not available for me to do any mindless consuming on it. Next one is safety. I location share with my husband, and while I'm no longer doing multi-mile marathon training runs 3 days a week, I do like to go on nice long walks into the countryside, either just to enjoy nature or maybe to do a bit of plein air art. Yeah, I'm alone, I'm a woman, I don't have any secret martial arts skills or brain exploding telekinetic powers, and I wouldn't tell you if I did. So I need to, you know, feel like somebody knows where I am and where to look for me, even if it's just because I've fallen and tripped into a ditch like a numpty. So next, what about communications like email and WhatsApp, or habit tracking like my gym spreadsheet or MyFitnessPal? So fortunately for me, all of these things are also available through a desktop browser as well. So I allow myself 1 hour in the evening to go through and process these as daily tasks. In reality, it takes me less than 20 minutes, and I'm not tempted to, in that time, sort of drift into watching YouTube videos mindlessly on the desktop. So yeah, sorted, right? There were a couple of situations that occurred during the week that I didn't think of up front, and I kind of had to adapt for them. The first is two-factor authentication. While most of my 2FA is set up to use different methods, there are a few sites that I need to log into, especially for work, that only accept push notifications, so smartphone required. Okay, so I plucked the powered down smartphone out of my high-tech phone jail and I stuffed it in my work bag instead. That bag is nearly always nearby when I'm at a computer, so if the need arises, I can pull the phone out, power it on. Yes, it's a faff, but it's not a faff I have to go through that often. Alright, and last up, yeah, I was missing the doorbell. We now have like one of them Ring doorbells, and I can't hear the sound that the unit makes when I'm upstairs. So I've been relying on it ringing to my phone. So no phone, no sweet fruits of my internet shopping addiction. Alright, no problem. Dan is in the middle of a massive home automation kick at the moment. So he set up the doorbell to ring through the Google Home Assistant thingy that's in the kitchen. Yeah, and speaking of home automation, is it really the best time to give up my smartphone when my house is in the midst of being turned into a technological hellscape and I can't even turn on a light without using an app? Nah, it's alright. I mean, lots of it's on motion sensors now, and for anything else, like Dan is around and I can ask him to do it, so it's a bit like having a butler. Yeah. So that is at the moment where I am at with this. Can I survive 3 months without a smartphone? I guess we'll find out in 3 months when I report back on how it went. Or maybe sooner. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, please do like and subscribe and do the other things. But most importantly, make sure you have a smashing day.